Hello everyone, welcome to the class. You can call me GP sir. You can remember me as GP sir. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter the Union Legislature, one of the very interesting chapters that you can study in civics. So when I say Union Legislature, it is also consists of the government body, the lawmaking body. We know the three pillars of the constitution, that is legislature, executive and the judiciary, correct? Whereas legislature which makes the law, they make the law, and that's how we get the different kinds of laws, and that will be implemented, that will be executed through the executive wing. Okay, executive, the name itself says that whatever the laws that are made, that has to be implemented, executed. And then any discrepancies you have or any questions that you have with respect to the laws that are made by the lawmaking body, you can question in the judicial wing. Judicial wing means it is nothing but the Supreme Court, High Court, and other subordinate courts. Now let us come back to the Union Legislature. When I say Union Legislature, it is nothing but the Parliament. Now, when it comes to the power distribution in India, we have federal power distribution. That is, we have the union, that is nothing but the central government, that is the prime minister and his other ministers, council of ministers, and then we have the state government. So, all the states, whatever the states that we have in India, each and every state will have their own government. That is called a state government. In simple terms, chief ministers. Chief minister will also will have different kinds of ministers. Council of ministers will be there. Okay, so that I think we will discuss in next slides. So now let us discuss the parliament. Consists of what you can see in the picture. The parliament is nothing but it is in New Delhi. It consists of elected representatives. What are they do? What are they going to do? What is their main job? Their main job is to make laws. Correct? They sit in the parliament, they discuss on what are the problems faced by the people. No, don't tell me, no way, sir. They are not going to discuss anything in the parliament. Rather, they are going to fight each other. They are sitting in the parliament only to make money. Okay, so that's your perception probably, but actually, the parliament meant for those members, those elected representatives, where they have to work for the people. That's why our Indian democracy says for the people, by the people, of the people, right? So they are elected by the people. We choose them through the direct election. That is why they are called as people's representatives. And in short, they are also called as members of parliament. They sit in the parliament, so thus they are called it as members of parliament. And our parliament is in New Delhi. Now, when I say the union legislature, the government at the center, the central government in short, is nothing but the union government. So don't get confused. Whenever people say union government, in simple terms, it is nothing but the central government where we have the prime minister and other ministers as well. And that entire union government consists of the president. The president is a senior most, the power of the country. He is called as the first citizen of the country. That you have to remember. Okay, the president is called as the first citizen of the country. And then we have other two houses. One is Rajya Sabha, the permanent house, Loka Sabha, that is the house of the people. Why it is called as house of the people? Because those people, those representatives who sits in Loka Sabha are elected by the people. That is why that Loka Sabha is called as the house of people, or we call it as Loka Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the permanent house. Okay, so you have to remember he is the president of India, Mr. Ramnath Kovind. So now let us study about the Lok Sabha. So whatever the point that you can see on the screen, that you can take it as a notes as well. You can also take it as a screenshot, or you can also make a note. So those, whatever the points that you can see on the screen, you can use it as a note. You can write it for the point of your board examination as well. So now let us see when it comes to the Lok Sabha. I told you already, they are the elected representatives of the people. They work for us. What they are, the voice of the people. Whatever the problems that we have, that will be discussed in the Loka Sabha as well. So initially, there were totally 500 numbers. Now it has been increased to 545 numbers. So that is a total composition. You may get a question: what is the total strength of Lok Sabha, or what is the composition? So you have to remember the total strength of Lok Sabha is 545 members. Second one is Lok Sabha is also called as the lower house or the house of people. I told you, house of people is nothing but they are the representatives who are elected by the people through the direct election. That is why it is called as house of people. Now, moving on to the next, when it comes to the Loka Sabha, each and every Loka Sabha, I mean, it has constituencies. Constituency is nothing but just like a jurisdiction. The highest jurisdiction or the highest constituency is Uttar Pradesh. It has 80 seats. How these seats are calculated? These are nothing but 80 seats, Mane. 80 seats means which are nothing but the members of parliament, those members. So totally 80 members of parliament are elected by the Uttar Pradesh. How these numbers are elected, how these numbers are fixed, those numbers are fixed based on the population of that particular state. Am I clear? So imagine Uttar Pradesh has more number of population, so based on the population the constituency is divided. So highest is Uttar Pradesh, which is of 80 seats, and the lowest or the least is nothing but Mizoram with a very less population. It has only one seat. However, the Loka Sabha also there will be a special reservation system for the SCs and STs. SC is scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe. So totally out of 545 seats, 131 seats are reserved exclusively for the backward classes. So to give equal rights, equal powers for SC/ST people, so 131 seats are reserved. So probably for one mark question or two mark questions, they may ask you. So that is which is the highest constituency in India, that is Uttar Pradesh. For that, you have to remember. Now, when you talk about the composition, so totally Loka Sabha currently we have the maximum strength is 552 seats. Now, don't get confused with 545. The maximum seat that you have to remember. So, totally how many MPs can be elected till 552? That's a maximum seat that we have. That's a maximum strength of Lok Sabha. However, these members are elected by the election, which I already have told you. Out of this 552, 532 members are from the states. They are elected directly by the people, and 20 people, 20 representatives are from the union territories. Just like New Delhi. New Delhi is not a state, it's a union territory. So that you have to remember. It's a simple formula. Out of 552, 532 people are elected by the states. 20 people are elected by the union territories. However, two members are nominated by the president, and those two members should be Anglo-Indians, so that rights is given to all Anglo-Indians. So that you have to remember. So simple formula: 530 plus 20 plus 2, that comes to 552. Am I clear to you all? It's a very simple one. See those, whatever the points that you can see on the screen, those points only you can make it as a note, and you can write it in your board examination as well. So 530 representatives are elected by the states. 20 members are elected by the union territories, and two people are nominated. They are not elected. You have to remember the word nominated by the president. And those two members are only Anglo Indians, no other community. Okay, so that you have to remember. Simple points, right? And now, what are the qualifications to get elected for the Loka Sabha. Now, if I have to become an MP, I have to become the members of parliament. So, how do I do that? Can I become a members of parliament? What are the qualifications? First and foremost thing, it's a very common thing. Blindly, you should know this. That is nothing but he should be a citizen of India. Of course, me being a different country citizen, I cannot contest in the election here. Don't tell that standing for the election. Standing for the election is something. No, it is not correct English. You have to say contesting election. If you wanted to contest for the election, the first and foremost thing is you should be the citizen of India. Second one, you should not be less than 25 years. At least you should complete 25 years of age. You should not be a proclaimed criminal by any court. It could be the subordinate court or high court or Supreme Court. Should not declare you as you are the convict. You are the criminal. So then you cannot contest in the election. He should have, or his name should be registered in the electoral list. That is, in the simple English, it is nothing but the election list, voters list should be there. So that means you are the citizen of that particular country. Okay, so your name, the contestant name should be registered in the electoral list. And the last one is he should not be an insolvent. Insolvent means very, very simple English, Papa. Imagine he might have declared that no, I don't have any money. So he doesn't have any money and he wanted to contest in the election. So that is not possible. So these are the basic qualifications which are mandatory to contest for the election. The first and foremost is he should be a citizen of India. He should not be less than 25 years of age. He should not be proclaimed criminal. His or her name should be in the electoral list of the country. He should not be an insolvent. So these are the things. Sometimes you may get a question. Apart from being a citizen of India, what are the other qualifications? So then you have to write other qualification. You should not rewrite that citizen of India because already in the question it is said that apart from being a citizen of India, what are the other qualifications required to become a member of Lok Sabha? Correct? It's a very simple one. So those are the points that you people can make a note. So now I have contested, I won in the election. So who is going to administer the oath? Oath taking. Probably you might have done in your school, oath taking. All my brothers and sisters, when I said sister comes, I know what you people will do. Okay, so the oath taking. Here also, whoever contested and won in the election, they are supposed to take an oath. Okay, and that oath will be administered by the president. President will administer the oath. Clear? I hope I'm not going too fast. Okay, so what are the points? I repeat, you can just make a note. Those points are more than enough if you write in your board examination. So now I'm officially announced an MP. Okay, I have taken the oath. Now, if I have to leave the position, so what's a procedure? So, how do I vacate the seat? The first thing is a member of the Lok Sabha, he can vacate, he can leave his seat by writing a letter. That is nothing but a resignation letter to the speaker. So you may get this also as a 1 mark question. So resignation letter written by the Loka Sabha member will be submitted to whom? It is to the speaker of the Loka Sabha. I repeat, resignation letter should be submitted to the speaker of the Loka Sabha. What if the speaker is not there? So then it goes to the deputy speaker. Am I clear? So whatever the resignation letter written by the Loka Sabha member, that should be submitted to the speaker of the Loka Sabha. Next, second one, he or she may be removed on the defection. Third, he can be removed if he or she is absent for more than 60 days. So here, when I say defection, imagine the person is moved from one political party to another political party. At that time, based on the anti-defection law, he can be removed. Imagine I'm in a party A. I contested in the election, I won in the election from the party A. And tomorrow party B says, you come to our party, I'm going to give you some 50 crores. So what I will do immediately, I'll jump into party B now. But whatever the members of parliament, I become an MP, it's because of party A. Correct? So now I've jumped to party B. So at that time, that becomes anti-defection. I'm against to that anti-defection act. Anti-defection act. So that's how, based on that, I can be disqualified to become a member of parliament. So who will decide that? Loka Sabha speaker. That you can remember. Or now imagine I'm the MP. I'm supposed to attend the regular session that happens in parliament. There will be discussion, right? I have to attend whenever I get time, at least. It should be regularly, actually. But if I'm continuously absent for more than 60 days, 60 days in the sense it is for 2 months, if I'm absent, then based on that, I can be removed by the speaker. Actually, if I'm long leave, long absentee, actually being a member, I'm supposed to take a permission from the speaker. That's a rule, that's a protocol. If I don't do that, speaker has all the rights to remove if I'm absent for more than 60 days. Okay. So these are the 3 points that you have to remember. How can be the seat of members of parliament can be vacated? The first one is he can be resigned at any point of his service, and the resignation will be submitted to the speaker. He or she can be removed based on the Anti-Defection Act. Third one is if he is absent for long, that is for more than 60 days, speaker can remove the person. Now, what is a tenure? Tenure, what is a tenure? What is a duration? What is a term? What is a period? Is always remember people who were elected by the people. Okay, those representative, anybody who are elected by the people, their maximum tenure is 5 years. After 5 years, what happens? Re-election. They have to contest in the election, and they have to get more votes, and that's how. Okay, maximum term is 5 year. However, the entire Loka Sabha can be dissolved due to the national emergency, or it can be due to the non-confidence motion. So any Loka Sabha, that is now the any prime minister tenure will be maximum of 5 years. After that, they have to go for re-election. Sometimes, if there is a national emergency, it could be due to the war, external war, Indo-China war, Indo-Pakistan war. Very recently, you might have watched even in televisions or news that war between Ukraine and the Russia. So that's nothing but the national emergency. At that time, the Loka Sabha can be dissolved. So completely sing together, swim together, which is also called as collective responsibility. Or if there is no confidence motion, when I say no confidence motion, there should be a majority of the members should be supporting to the ruling government. If there are no majority, at that time the government will fall. The prime minister has to resign. If prime minister is resigning, automatically all other ministers will become ex-ministers. That's called a swim together, sing together, which is nothing but collective responsibility. And the third one is the term of Lok Sabha can also be extended more than 5 years up to the maximum of 1 year during emergency. Sometimes president can take a decision. I told you na emergency. It could be a national emergency, external threat. There is other country declaring a war on India. At that time, president can request the prime minister to extend for another 1 year. That is exceptional cases. Okay, most of the time it will be maximum of 5 years. So those are the 3 points that you have to remember when it comes to what are the Loka Sabha tenure. Always remember, it's always better to write maximum answer. So you have to practice more. They ask you what is the tenure of Loka Sabha. It is maximum of 5 years. However, it can be dissolved during national emergency or due to no confidence motion. So that also you can write it. So those 2 points you can write it normally when they ask for tenure. Next comes one of the most important questions that has been asked for 2 marks. What is quorum? So this is the answer. It is a minimum number of members that is one tenth of the total strength required to run the session. Imagine we have 200 members. So out of 200 members, at least one tenth of the people should be present. If they are not present, so any decision that cannot be taken in the Loka Sabha, maximum should be there at least. Correct. So one tenth of the total strength required to run the session. If there is no that much of number, that strength, the speaker has all the rights to adjourn the meeting or cancel the meeting, to postpone the meeting if the house does not meet the quorum. Okay, the quorum means the maximum strength. Out of maximum strength, the minimum strength what is required is called as quorum. Okay, so that is the definition you can write. If they ask you for 2 marks, it is a minimum number of members, that is one tenth of the total strength required to run the session. The speaker may adjourn the meeting if does not meet the quorum of the house. Seems to be simple. That's all. If you write that, you will get marks. Okay, that one tenth is required. So that is minimum requirement to run a session. Clear? Now there is a word called as session. What is a session? Session is nothing but the period during which the house meets to conduct the business. Business means what? If there will be a problem, so they conduct meetings, right? In normal English, it's nothing but the meeting. They discuss in the Loka Sabha. I told you in the beginning itself what are the problems that we have. It could be regarding, see, last year and all previous years we had this pandemic, Corona. Regarding the COVID, whether should we have a lockdown or not, what are the precautions should be. Those things will be discussed in the parliament. That is nothing but that discussion, that meeting is nothing but the session. Okay. So in a year, at least there should be two sessions that should run. Okay, and those sessions are called, invited, summoned by the president of the India. So Loka Sabha should meet at least twice in a year. So in a year, at least two times, definitely there should be a meeting. So that you have to remember. And between these two, there should not be a long gap. So obviously they'll meet, so two sessions will be the maximum, it is three. So at least two sessions should happen in a year. So that is where they sit and discuss the general problems of the country and try to find out the solutions. That is nothing but the sessions. So if you have any questions, you can post in your comments box. Definitely I'm going to answer to you. So this is me, GP sir. You can remember me as GP sir. We will meet in part 2, the same union legislature. Have a nice day. All the very best.